I'm so excited. You are in for a treat. You're going to get to meet Claire Thom. She's a photographer from Houston, Texas, and she and I met from an ad. I feel like that's every story from everyone that I meet now. It's like, hey, remember that ad when we first got connected? So you're going to get to hear how she is actually taking around $1,000 a month in ad budget and turning it into anywhere from 10,000 a month to close to $20,000 a month in her business. So I can't wait for you to hear all the stories and just how she's done it in such a short time period. Her stats are insane. So if you're a data person, you're going to love this too. But before you do that, I want to remind you that if you have not registered for the new Find Your Leads challenge, go do that right now. Go to ashleybrock.com/findyourleads. This is for anyone who wants to become findable online. So if you know that there's people searching for you, looking for you, who want to buy from you, they just need to discover you, then this is for you. So you can click the link below in the show notes or on YouTube in the description of this video. Go to ashleybrock.com/findyourleads and register for the challenge. And you're going to get one-on-one support from me for 4 days. And you're not only going to get personalized and customized strategy advice for your business, but you're also going to be in a room with other entrepreneurs just like you that you're going to get to learn from. So there's a lesson each day, and then there's an opportunity for coaching each day if you do the VIP option. Those spots are limited each time we do this. So go to ashleybrock.com/findyourleads. Now get excited to meet Claire. All right, I'm so excited for today because Claire Thom is here. She's a big deal, y'all, when it comes to photography. She's the queen of family and branding photography. She lives, it's right outside of Houston, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just outside Houston.
Okay. So Claire and I met from an ad, right? Man, I'm so glad that that ad was out there because now I have just grown. Y'all will see throughout this episode today that I've grown to love Claire so much for so many different reasons, which you'll get to learn about. But Claire, I'd love for you to just say hello and introduce yourself to everybody and who you are. Tell us about you.
Sure. I'm Claire Thom. I run Claire Thom Photography. I'm based, as Ashley said, just outside Houston, a little town called Fulshire. I'm Scottish, so I'm not from here originally, but we've been here for about 7 years. I have 2 kids. They're 12 and 13. My husband's very supportive with my business and everything that's going on. So, and I have 2 dogs. So apologies if we hear any barking in the background. I have tried to keep them quiet, but we'll see.
I love it. Claire, so let's go back to the very beginning of when you first saw my ad, if you can remember. So it is probably a little one of those carousel ads that I had where you can swipe through. It was like, you're missing out on revenue if you're not doing marketing. Do you remember?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think it was one of the carousel ones, probably on Instagram. And yeah, I sent a message to you and we chatted back and forth about loads of things and yeah, went ahead and registered. So
I remember before you registered. Okay, you may not have remembered this, but I did. I remember going to your profile and we had sent a few voice memos. And I was sending you a lot of memos. I feel like sometimes you would be busy and you'd respond via text, but I'm just sending you voice memos. And I looked at your profile and your website and I was like, she's so good. I know that she could benefit from this. Claire, you asked me, you said, have you had a photographer in the program yet? And at the time I hadn't. And I think I remember coming back to you and I was like, Claire, what I haven't had in the program is a photographer, but what I can tell you is marketing works regardless of the industry. And I know this can work for you. And you may not remember this, Claire, but it was like a whole day or two. And I was constantly thinking about you because you hadn't responded yet. And I'm dying. I don't want to bother her, but I also don't want her to think that I don't care because I know that she would love this. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. I was probably thinking, oh, is this going to work though? Is this different? It is, but I didn't know that at the time. So.
You know that now. So I remember you telling me one time you said that you were kind of going up in the air between 1 or 2 courses because you had done other courses in the past, right? Because you like to learn.
Yeah, I'm always learning something. So yeah, there was, because I do branding photography, there was a specific mentor that was doing branding photography mentoring, and I was looking at that. But at the time, I was like, I've done lots of branding sessions. I've done other courses on branding. And then when I saw your ad, I was like, well, I want to do the branding, but I need to get the clients. So this would tick the box.
Yeah.
So
What ultimately made you decide to jump in? Because you were in that hesitation. Well, she hasn't had a photographer yet. Was there anything that kind of,
specifically, I can't remember specifically. I remember thinking that as we were chatting back and forth, you seemed so knowledgeable about all of it and so sure that it was going to work. So I had done some paid ads in the past, but myself without any support to do it, just me trying things. And I was like, I feel like there is the potential for this to work. And all the information you gave me just made it seem like it was 100% worth doing and
well,
investing in.
I'm so glad you did because I was sure. And the hard thing for me even now is that I know marketing can help people get in front of the right people, but you have to be willing to do the work. And so sometimes I go all in and I'm like, listen, this works, but I have to remind myself, wait, that my husband told me this morning, he was like, same thing, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I you did the work too. Like you didn't just buy the course and it was magic because it's not magic. You watched it. I swear you watched every video, didn't you?
Yeah, and there's so much to learn. And even now, well, last week because you now have a workbook, I was like, I need the workbook as well because there is things. And then as you come across new areas in the ads, I'm like, I know that you've told me about this, but as you go deeper into it, I need to go back and refer. I need to double check what I'm meant to do and as we said, I love a checklist. So I'm like, where's my checklist? What else can I change? What am I meant to be looking at? So it's not just going through the course, it's afterwards as well. I like being able to go back and double check things and refine things.
I tell everybody it's like watching a movie. The first time you watch a movie, you're not picking up on all the subtle little jokes because you're consuming. And then when you go back, watch the whole thing 2 times, 3 times, and you start to pick up other things because you're like, oh, okay, I know what she was saying there because I know what that means now. So you're actually able to pick up more, I feel like, when you go back.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got all the results before there was even a workbook. Like you were
Yes.
like in
Yeah, I did. I did. But now I'm like, again, always trying to improve, always trying to learn. I'm like, how do I get better results? Or
Yep.
how do I get cheaper results? Or so I'm like, how do I define this? How do I make sure targeting the right people, refine it even more?
Yeah.
And so,
And there's always more to do. You
yeah,
can always be better than whatever you're doing, which is why I'm glad that we still get to work together. So those of you that are watching this right now, Claire did the 8-week program, but then there's an opportunity for us to keep chatting and working. And Claire's like, hey, I'm already I don't even know what your actual ROI at this point is if you think about the income month after month after month.
I don't know. I have other figures for you today, but not that. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. It's been crazy. Like, yeah.
So tell us where you were at, whatever you're open to sharing, like where you were
Yeah.
at
No, sure.
revenue wise from the beginning.
So I thought I look back and I'm like, I thought it was doing okay. I knew I could grow and I wanted to grow, but how to get there, I wasn't sure. So if you compare just year to date last year, so 2023 January, and this is now the 14th of February. So 2023, beginning of January into the 14th of February, I'd made $2,089. This year, from the beginning of January to the 14th of February, I've done 18,923. So it's like I'm up like 800%.
Claire. Okay, that's my favorite stat so far. 800% because so I remember when we met like a week or two ago, you said normally this is like my slow period.
Uh-huh.
It was January. You're like family photos are over, Thanksgiving, Christmas have happened, and you 800% you're
Yeah,
how,
it's
how do you
it's
feel? What does your husband say?
yeah, he's just delighted. He's like, yeah, he can't believe it.
No.
Well, he can't. He knows I work hard, but he's just like, yeah, you're getting the results that you've been working for. So It's,
You have been
yeah.
working for it for a long time. And I remember when you first started your ads, I think it took a little bit of time for things to kick in how we wanted, which most people, that's the thing I preach so big in the program is like, it's not magic. It is marketing, and it's possible for you to have an 800% return. Like that's really realistic when you push through the part where you, like for a minute, I bet you were like, all right, I'm ready for this to work at the very beginning. Like, how did you
Yeah,
feel at the beginning?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the first couple of months, I was like almost just closing my eyes and not looking at my Google Ads account because I was like, I just don't want to see the money racking up and I'm not getting much back. So, but I don't know if you remember, I traveled. So I think I set them up in April,
Yeah.
and then May went pretty well. And then June went okay. And then I traveled the whole of July. And that was tough because I was like, do I leave these running when I'm not even there to pretend for short notice sessions? I'm not even going to be in the country. So do I leave them running? And I did. I just like was just go on vacation, go back to Scotland, see your family, don't turn them off. And I didn't. I just left them running. I came back and August was my best month I've ever had.
Wow. That's so cool.
So that was when everything kicked in. Since August, it's just been, yeah, busy.
Incredible. Gosh, that's awesome. So I remember Claire told, for everyone watching, Claire told me a few meetings ago in one of our academy meetings. I think she was saying that she had mapped out like your 2023, 2024, 25, 26, 27 goals. And I think you've already achieved like your 2027, like surpassed the 2027.
Yeah, just from doing that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I worked hard before and things were progressing, but not at this speed.
You're the one that built the foundation that you had. You made a lot of changes on your website. You watched every course, every video, you made changes, and you're the one hustling out there to be at every photo shoot too. And so the thing that I love about where you're at now is we're having conversations about how do we get even better. And then you're considering, or I think you've already done a little bit of a price increase because of the demand, right?
Yeah. So I did that a couple of weeks ago, and I've had no one has pushed back at all. I've not had anyone.
That's because you're great at what you do. And so now,
Yeah.
tell us
It,
this, because there's someone listening out there who's like, I wish I could increase my prices. Like, what gave you the confidence that you were like, I have to do this?
because I was so busy. like, like, I think we both had a conversation just before Christmas, and Ashley, I think you were in the same boat as me. More, I was like, I have no Christmas presents, and I've not bought Christmas presents for anyone, and I haven't done like my normal stuff. And like, I feel like at that point, I was like, January, I have to do something because like I'm so busy, and I want to serve my clients, and I want to do that for them, but I also couldn't do much more than what I was doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, at that point I was like, yeah, I can't, I need to increase my prices to, yeah.
Keep rocking and rolling because you were, I mean, I remember that we were sitting there and you were normally I would have had everything wrapped. And I think we were like a few days before Christmas. And I'm like, we've got it. And I'm like, Claire, I'm the same thing because I was getting ready for the Marketing Matters Summit. And so
Yeah.
I'm over here doing a million things and putting that together. And I was in the same place. I was like, everything that was purchased was so last minute. And I don't want that to happen for us. Like that, it was a unique scenario, but it is a great problem to have as a small business owner when
Oh,
you're like so
absolutely. And
busy.
I'm so grateful. And that's why I didn't say to anyone I can't do your photos, because I want to serve them all and I want to be there and I want to do it. Yeah, December was a little bit of a struggle.
Mhm.
So, but it gave me the confidence in January. I think though the whole course gave me the confidence because I know that I'm doing a small part of what you teach. I'm not even using all of the methods of advertising. I'm using Google and I'm not doing anything else at the moment, and it's gone this well. So I feel like I've got the confidence that I can build this even more. And how I do that, I haven't decided yet. I'm still looking at different ways, but I feel like between all the different methods, I can definitely build this in a much bigger business.
Absolutely. And so you've really seen success with Google Ads. but there's
Yeah.
so many other pieces. I think we tried Meta for a minute, and that's our next step together is we're gonna figure out how we can get remarketing ads to work for you. I think I told you I have ads that for remarketing that are like 50 to 1. And I'm like, okay, we need to get Claire with some return on Meta. But you started with Google, and I feel like sometimes people get tempted when they watch the course. And I think you tried this a little bit where you were trying to do a lot. You were trying to get every campaign live. And what I've found is I feel like knowing how it all works, knowing how YouTube ads works, knowing how display ads work, how TikTok ads work, Google ads, it's nice to know how they all work, but I think focusing on one and getting that down in a good spot, then you can take the revenue from that and reallocate and have a little bit more of like some breathing room to say, I'm going to give this the time and money it deserves to work, because it is going to take time and money as you learn remarketing for it to really work for you. And even YouTube ads, but you're right, there's so much you could still do.
Yeah, I think that's definitely given me the confidence. Yeah, that's probably why I was confident with raising my prices, because I know that I can get more clients, and I know there's so many more things I can do.
Mm-hmm. So one of the stories I wanted you to tell was how you were so confident in Google Ads that somehow you had someone that has a restoration company, and you're like, I can do your ads. Will you tell everybody the story? Like, how did that go down? How did you get to managing
So
another ad account?
a friend of a friend recommended me to help with some marketing, and they were like, her business always looks good and everything's always seems to work for her. And I met with the gentleman, and he had a construction company, and he was like, I've only gone through word of mouth. I've never done anything on social media. I've never built a website. I've never done anything. So he was like, I think I need a website. I was like, okay. So he was like, can you build me a website? I've done 4 or 5 websites in the past. So I was like, I can build your website. So it's not really my thing, but yeah, okay. So I built him his website, and then he came back and he said, I think I need to advertise. And I was like, well, actually, just done a course. So he didn't have a lot of knowledge for how websites worked, or how he wasn't even on, he didn't even have a Facebook account. So anyway, we set up a couple of campaigns in Google, and he got a few jobs, and then he did the same thing. He panicked and was like, pause them, I'm spending too much money. And I was, yeah, that's fine, but this is how Ashley told me, this is what you've got to do. You've got to spend money to learn and whatever else. But he got a few jobs out the first time, and then he came back and said, can I reactivate the ads? So we went in, put them back on again. Within about, I think it was like 10 days, he got 3 contracts that were worth $50,000 each through the ads. So when he called me and was like, turn off the ads, I was like, no, but they're working. They're working. Let's not turn them off. And he was like, yeah, but I can't do any more work. I've got these 3 and I don't know when I can fit more work in. So please, can you pause them just now and we'll put them back on again?
So that's $150,000. I just did like a quick math. Are you able to share like range of how much he spent? Was it like a couple thousand? Was it a couple hundred?
Oh, no, no, no. It definitely wasn't a couple of thousand. His budget was like $18 a day over like 10 days.
Oh my God.
So
I
he
mean,
just,
it's like I want to act surprised, but I'm like, I can't, because someone's probably searching, and you know how to find the right keywords, and you created the website. I mean, you're a marketer, Claire. You're not just a photographer, you're a marketer.
oh, he hasn't come back yet. I'm like, are you still working on those jobs? So we'll see.
That's huge. $150,000, $18. Man, raise your hand if you would like that. Like, we all are sitting here. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Google is just an untapped. I feel like that people are sitting on gold, and they just don't know what they don't know, which is why I'm over here. And honestly, you're doing the same thing. You're like, hey, you should be doing Google. Hey, like, I feel like everywhere you go, if someone says they're struggling with leads, you're like, no, are you doing marketing? That's so awesome. So you like to learn, because I know you said you had done some other courses. I think some people that are listening may wonder, like, well, Claire, maybe she was just really good at technology, or Claire, maybe she had some sort of marketing background, or can you tell people kind of where you started when you were jumping in on Google Ads stuff, and just is there any hope you can just encourage someone with and say like you don't have to be a wizard of technology to do
Oh,
this?
no, absolutely not. I'm not any nowhere near a wizard with technology. And to be honest, like tracking my conversions was like totally messing with my head for quite a while, because trying to get that in my website and making sure it was tracking correctly and all that sort of stuff. And I know how important it is, so I wanted it done correctly. But yeah, no, definitely I'm not any sort of wizard. And it was really just following Ashley's advice and videos and how to get it all set up, and just thinking a little bit outside the box about what people would be searching for. Because when you're in the business, it's very easy to, the terms that you would use, but it's not what everyone would use when they're searching for your business. Sometimes they don't know what they're looking for when they start searching. So it's, yeah, I've got some weird and wonderful keywords included now, but that's just, yeah, just thinking outside the box, I think helped.
One of the things that I love about what your Google campaigns have done for you is you just like what you mentioned, that sometimes there's like some weird things people are searching for, and you're like, huh. Like I remember, I think you told me the other day someone was looking for like a dating app headshot or something like
Yeah.
that. And you're like, I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I did it like 2 weeks ago. I went and did like lifestyle photos for the gentleman, so he's on some exclusive dating website, so he's got his, yeah, nice
He's gonna look
headshot.
awesome now, thanks to you.
But
But you
yeah,
found that because of your campaigns. Like you wouldn't have naturally thought, I am the go-to dating app, you know, branding photographer. But what a
absolutely not.
cool opportunity, because you that's something that Google does, is it helps you find other things that people are looking for that you might actually be able to
Mhm.
do.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a girl in the Marketing Matters program right now, I would say woman, and she owns, it's called Red Seal Craft Studio, locally here near Atlanta. And she launched a Google campaign, and she does like these jewelry making workshops or candle making workshops. And it's a beautiful studio. You can go on your own, but it's with a group, and you're making, it's like a creative little party, and it's fun. And she saw that a lot of people were searching for like pottery classes. And then she's over here like, 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 should I offer pottery as a service? She's like, I could probably do that. So it's like you uncover all of these new opportunities that you hadn't thought of, because you're exactly right. You think that people are searching and saying a certain thing, but you may find that someone's looking for something that you could actually do, but you would never know that without launching a Google
Yeah,
campaign.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I never thought about people wanting professional headshots for their dating profile, but that's something that they look for. So
Yeah. All right, Claire. So two other final questions for you. Just looking back, you did the Marketing Matters program, you learned a lot. How do you feel from doing it? I know you're excited. I know you're really proud of where things are going, but looking back, what are you most glad that you did or learned, or maybe what did you take
there's so
away?
many things. I think the changing my website to start with to make sure it was converting was important,
Mm.
because that is where people go, especially if you're in a Google ad. They're not going to click on a Google ad and go to your Facebook page. They're going to your website. So I think making that as good as it is, I get a lot of compliments on my website, which is quite a weird thing, but I'll meet people at sessions and they're all like, oh yeah, your website just spoke to me and we knew we had to use you. So that's quite interesting. But so yeah, refining that definitely made a difference, and taking your feedback. Also, yeah, all the different ways you can advertise. I mean, I think in my head, I was like, you can use Facebook and you can use Google. And I didn't even think about display ads, although I don't use them, I know there's like shopping ads and performance max ads. And I didn't realize there was so many different tools you can use. So although I don't use some of them, it's very interesting to know what they're for and where I could potentially use them in future.
For any business, really.
Yeah.
This one or anything in the future. And I think that's actually a good point, is a lot of people are like, is this the ads course? And yes, you do learn a lot about ads, but you're right. We spent so much time in week one, which is all about your website and what Google needs to know about your website and the user experience of your website. I'm remembering that we spent a lot of time with verbiage and just making your website really clear, and you were so open to feedback too.
We also went over some SEO, which was interesting as well, to see where I had to change things again, just so Google knew what was going on. But I learned a lot.
That's right. So Claire did the VIP option where one of the perks is that you get a website audit. So I just spent some time on her website, gave her a bunch of feedback, and I would say you implemented 95% of everything. You have some, everybody has different context on their business. Like, no, Ashley, this needs to stay because, but for the most part, you were very willing and you did it very quickly. Like you were like, all right, we're gonna make these changes. And we went through a lot of the pages on your website,
Yeah,
and you were open to that. So that's so true, is we're in our business every day, all day. We stare at our website so much that it's so nice to have someone else be like,
absolutely. Yeah.
here's what you could focus on and why, and just have another pair of eyes really trying to help you.
And I think someone else, although obviously you've got the background as a marketer, so you're looking at it from a slightly different perspective, but I think as another potential client, like you could, not that we live close, but if we live close to each other, you could potentially be a client. So it's what you would look for on a website as well. Whereas I see it as what I can provide and what I can offer and what I want to show people, but it might not actually be what they're looking for. So it's interesting from that perspective as well.
It's very true. All right. So last question for you, Claire, is what are your goals right now? So I know you said you kind of just want to see how you can be more efficient and where else you want to launch. So I'd love to hear about what your goals are right now.
So I'm going to expand in some way. I don't know what that looks like yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know whether I need to take on associates or I don't know. It's early days. I know that I can expand more and I know that I can do more, but it's how I do that. Whether I look at adding some other offerings to what I provide, maybe an education piece. Yeah, there's a lot of different things formulating at the moment, but yeah.
But you're growing, so what a great, I keep saying a great problem to have, but it's so nice that you're like, hey, things are flowing, so now I can look at other opportunities, which makes me so happy.
Yes, that's the thing. It's just the time to get to look at these other opportunities, but I want to, I now feel like I've got confidence to do that, to build on what I've got so far.
Yay, that makes me happy. Okay, I know I said last question, but I actually have one final
Yeah,
one.
that's okay.
And I know you said you had some other stats written down. Do you have anything else that it was numbers that you were like excited to share?
Well, I know you like stats,
I
so
do. Give me some data.
so 2022, I had 111 leads, 77 sessions or shoots. 2023, I had 352 leads and 174 sessions. So, and they weren't all in December, although it felt like it, but
Oh my God. I remember you sending me that chart of your business where it was like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Like it just started taking off. I'm like, that, I love charts and data and the numbers. So I
yeah,
think you started implementing April or May. So basically you were able to almost 4x your leads year over year. And that's with you starting later in the year on learning marketing.
yes.
Wow.
And the other stat I had was November 2022. I made $7,459. And November 2023, 17,651.
Oh my gosh. That's a $10,000 swing in 1 month. And everybody sitting here that's like listening is going to be like, okay, that's a $10,000 month, but did you have to pay $10,000 in marketing to get there?
No, no.
Exactly.
My ad spend is around the $1,000 a month.
Right.
I think I'm maybe up to 1,200 at the moment. I increased it because I was getting such a good return on it. So that's my Google ad spend.
Yeah, that's what people, I mean, and it's a fair question. It's like, okay, yeah, you're making all this revenue, but how much are you having to spend? So you're spending around $1,000. And I think you said January was over 10,000 as well of
Yes.
this year. So yeah, that's an exceptional return.
Since August. I've done at least 10 every month.
Wow.
10, I think, is the lowest I've done since
That
August.
is the lowest. That's so wonderful, Claire. I'm so proud of you. And again, you did the work and you endured the frustration of setting up the tracking and not getting results immediately. I mean, if you don't you appreciate where you are now because of how frustrating it was initially as you're just learning something
Oh,
new.
yeah. And I remember being so concerned about what I was going to advertise. What wording was I going to put in to get people to even click? And I've had a few friends say, but what did you put in your advert? And now I'm like, I can't even remember. Like, I don't know. You give Google all these headings and all these subjects, and then they just make it better for you. They were like, how did you word it? I'm like, I don't even know now. Like, we came up with things and it works. So,
And it's simple stuff. It's like someone
yeah,
searching for the best branding photographer. The ad says something best branding photographer. Like
yeah,
it's very simple and to the point. It's far easier. Like as you look back, I know in the moment it feels in a tunnel and you're like, there's the light. But as you look back, aren't you like, that wasn't that bad?
yeah. Yeah, I remember thinking, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm going to put in these adverts. How am I going to make this sound good? And actually, when I wrote, it wasn't difficult. It was just, and then you can go back and change it. Nothing's permanent if it's not working.
That's right. Well, Claire, I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful that we met from an ad. It's
I
my
know.
that's my favorite thing. And Claire actually flew from Houston to the Marketing Matters Summit and brought some
That's so,
friends. So it was really nice to get to hug her and see her in person. So thank you for being here and for sharing all of your feedback about the program. And I just can't wait to watch your team grow one day. I can't wait to watch your
I
pricing 10x.
know.
I'm excited for you. I'm really, really happy for you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all your help and knowledge because I wouldn't have got here without it.
Thank you. Well, we get to keep Claire and I get to keep hanging out in the Marketing Matters Academy every week. So we're just going to see how can we keep scaling and improve what you got going on. And I think Instagram is the next place we should focus on. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
All
Me too.
right. Thank you everybody for being here. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode.